What's up everybody, it's your boy Javon Francis, and yes, today is the day, the first time that I get to work on the Audi S3, and it is, as the title has said it, we are changing the brake pads on my Audi S3. So I'm also going to be giving you a few extra tips that you can keep in mind whenever working on your car. So let's get cracking, let's go! Before we even jack the car up, we need to take the wheel off. And to do that, we're going to have to start off by using one of these. Now if you can see that is one of the most annoying things if you don't have it, and all it is a little thing that goes into this hole to pull out. You gotta use a little bit of elbow grease. This is embarrassing. Come on. There we go. Alright. Yeah, so that basically just removes that. And that would give you access to your wheel nuts so that you can actually take the wheel nuts off. So I'm gonna start off by loosening my wheels first. I'm gonna do this on both sides before I get started. And then finally, the last one, which I should have done first, is your lock nut. And for those of you who don't know, your lock nut just fits into your wrench like that. And you gotta find that groove, like so. And there you go, your nuts are loosened. So we're gonna go and do the same thing on the other side, and then come back here. Alrighty, now that we got the nut as I was saying, now that we got the nut caps off, I don't know what these are called, nut caps? Bolt caps? I don't know, whatever. We got them off. I've just loosened the bolts on both sides, and now it's time to check up the car. So, by the way, when you're jacking the car, when you're putting cars on jack stands, one thing I forgot to do is put some safety blocks, chugs, bricks, or whatever. I'm gonna put some 2 bricks behind the tire, and rather do that before you check the car. So let's do that quickly. Now that I've secured the rear end, and that's just in case, I don't know, if something fails or the car starts to slide, we've got some support in the back to hold the car from sliding. So that's just a safety mechanism or safety feature that I've created. Alright, so now that we've mounted the car up, or jacked the car up rather, I have put my jack stand just under the suspension mounting, and just for some behind the scenes, I had to cut there because I didn't know where I could put the jack stand, and I wanted to make sure, so I called a friend of mine, and I think I'm going to call him again. His name is Callum. He actually owns the Z32, and he's going to be helping me out today. So, Callum, thank you for that. Yep, there we go. Looks like we're good. Yeah, so the car is sitting on the jack stand at the moment, and that's secure. I'm gonna get the other side up, and then we should be good to go. Alright, so we've got the car jacked up, and that was a bit embarrassing because I've never jacked up a car with a trolley jack, and I've never put jack stands underneath. So if you're wondering where I put them, I actually put them I put the jack stands on the suspension mounting, which you'll see at the bottom, and I think that was the best way to do it. And thanks to Callum for actually give me some of the advice. So firstly, we're going to take the wheel off. Let's get to it. Alright, now that we've got the wheel off, it's time to change the brake pads. Did I mention that I've never changed brake pads on an S3 before? So I actually don't know where to start. I think it's time I call a friend. It's time to call Callum. Yo, what's up, man?
Hey man, how's it going?
Good. Listen, quick one. Actually, not a quick one, I need your help. I'm actually changing the brake pads on the S3, right?
Yeah.
So it's my first time changing brake pads on an S3, and I've taken the wheels off, I've jacked it up, but I don't know what to do. Do you think you can help me out, man?
Yeah, of course, man. Let me have a look. How's things going?
Alright, cool. So, we've got the wheel off. So, everything is cool. We can actually see the condition of the pads. They're actually really bad.
Yeah, those look pretty good.
So, yeah, where do we start, man?
Dude, well, there's a couple of bolts on the back of the calipers there. The two that actually slide, that allow the calipers to slide for that kind of floating design effectively. So you've got one on the top and the bottom.
Yeah.
So the easiest generally is if you unscrew one of those and the center section of the caliper will then pivot out. So
okay, so I'm thinking of doing maybe the bottom one then.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you're talking about these two here, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So I think let me take this one off. I'll swing it up, and then once I get that out, I'll call you back.
Cool, man.
Thanks, man. All right, cool. I think that helped.
No worries.
Sweet, thanks.
Ciao.
All right, well, what Callum has just told me is that there's actually two bolts, right? So let me see if I can get the camera in here. All right, cool. So basically what we're looking at here is two bolts. One behind here and one, see if we can get the camera in there. So that one and then that one. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna undo that, and according to our knowledge, this should pivot up and give us access to the brake pad. So let's see if that works. All right, just to try and show you what that looks like. So we are underneath the car right now. As you can see, there are two bolts. So the one is this one, it's just behind here. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna use a 13 in the back, just like this. And then I'm using a 17 to hold the nut in front of that to loosen this and take this bolt out. Go. That's the little bugger that we're trying to get out. See that in the light? That's your 13. A little bit, just to make sure that she's not trying to pull up on anything. So there we have it. Oh, that is quite heavy. There you go. And now your pads are sitting right there. Let's get in closer. Alright, so now that we've swung this baby all the way up, as you can see, it's a little bit loose at the moment. We're also going to end up pushing this cylinder, so this is basically a brake piston, all the way back. But first, we're going to want to take these out. These literally just pop out. Just like that. And you can see that these are almost, yeah, those are gone. Those are not good at all. So that's the front. And we're gonna compare those in a minute. Just take the back out. Just takes a little bit of elbow grease. And there you go. And that's the back one. And you can see these are definitely needing to be replaced. All right, so let's get started. So I have taken off the old brake pads, as you can see, and I've got a new set right here. Now I've gone with Ferodo's. I trust them. It's a good brand, it's good quality, and the set that I am getting is a premium set, and it is for the S3. Now, the one way you can check if you have the right size is on the back of these boxes. You'll see a little shape like that, and if you put your brake pad next to it, it should fit almost exactly. And if it doesn't, then you know you actually have the wrong size brake pads. A few things that you should note when getting brake pads is that the quality of your brake pads have a lot to do with how long they're gonna last. So the cheaper you go with brake pads, the less they will last. And also the performance wouldn't be as good. Now, a lot of people will sell you brake pads that are actually not good quality, and they wear out very quickly, and they just get business. They just want you to come back into the shop and buy more brake pads in the not too distant future. But I got these at an amazing price from Midas, from Jaymees Midas, here in Constantia-Kloof, in Strubens Valley actually. So if you're looking for good price on brake pads, go and check them out. I picked up these Ferodos. I'll post the price below. I can't remember how much I paid for them, but they gave me a really good price on them. So shout out to Jaymees Midas. I'll put the details down below. But anyway, so it's time to unbox these and actually get these on the S3. All right, cool. So we're gonna undo the seal, and always make sure that you have the right size before you undo the seal. Yeah, that's pretty cool. They've given us the exact same bolt that goes back just in case you strip these. So I'm actually going to keep these as a spare. I'm not going to replace them, but this is just in case you strip these, because apparently these actually break off quite easily. So I think it's quite cool that they've given us an extra set. And so let's take a look at this. Look at that. So that's the old one, and that's the new one. Alright, it's time to pop these in. But before we do that, we need to push the piston back on the brake pad. So let's get on that. So before I actually push that piston back, I'm going to use some of this. It's actually some liquid moly brake and parts cleaner, and I'm just going to start cleaning all of this debris off, because over time all of this just collects on here. So always have a friend on speed dial. I hope he picks up. Hey man.
How's it going?
Good. Actually, I made a lot of progress. You're actually going to be proud of me. So I managed to get the brake pads off, and here we are here. So you can see the old ones, and here are the new ones. Yeah, so that's almost down to bare bone. Yeah, I'm quite lucky. So cool. So I got them off, and I gave them a bit of a clean. So I used a little bit of this. Yeah. So some brake and parts cleaner and a little bit of a brush. It wasn't really that good because they still look dirty as hell. But I gave them a little bit of a clean, and now I know that I don't know what to do next. I know it's got something to do with that piston, right?
Yeah, exactly. You got to push that back into the caliper a bit.
Okay, so what's the process with that?
So actually there's a special tool for that, but look, most people aren't going to buy the tool just to do their own car. So the easiest way to get around that is you can usually get like a G-clamp on there and just wind that back, squeeze the piston back into the caliper, and that should do it.
Alright, cool. So I actually do have a G-clamp here. So I'm gonna use this. And then do I need to undo the brake fluid cap?
No, you don't. So the whole system is effectively open when there's no pressure on the pedals.
Okay.
So as you push the piston in, it's just going to push fluid back up into the reservoir.
Ah, I see. So I don't need to open the reservoir.
Nope, that'll all be good.
Okay, perfect. So let me get that done. I'll call you back when it's back, when it's pushed back. Alright.
Well, good luck.
Cool, thanks. Alright, well there you have it. So apparently we just have to push that back. We don't have to open up the reservoir. I know there are YouTube videos out there that's going to tell you to open up the reservoir. You don't have to do it on the Audi S3. So we're going to push that back and see what happens. So, just to give me some leverage, I'm going to use this. Now be careful where you put this G-clamp as well, because there is a brake line right behind here, and you do not want to mess with that and ruin that. So be careful where you put this clamp. Hold that in there. It'd be nice if I had a second pair of hands. Alright, and there you have it. Let's see if I can show you what it looks like now compared to what it looked like before. So you can see that's all the way in there, and now we can actually get cracking. We can put our pads in and put this back. Put all of this back together. Alright, cool. So we've pushed the piston back, and now it's time to put our pads back in. There we go. So these are just clamps that you gotta sort of pull and then make sure that that's sitting all the way in there, just like that. Alright, so it's time to put the caliper. Am I saying that? Yeah, it's time to merge the caliper with the brake pads housing. That's gonna go onto. Am I saying this correctly? I don't even know if my terminologies are correct, but anyway, this thingy is gonna slide back on this thingy to merge with the brake pads, and then we're gonna tighten this all up. I'm gonna add one more step, and that is to add some of this. So that, if you cannot see it, is copper anti-seize grease. And what that does is it just prevents that nut from seizing up under the heat, and then later on having to strip that nut and using one of the spares that you get when you get your brake pad. So that's actually, it's a good thing to do. Alright, cool. So we've got our copper grease on there. Keep pointing it at the screen. But anyway, we've got our copper anti-seize grease in there, and we're gonna pop this back in and we're gonna get to it. Well, there you have it. All that's left is to put the wheel back, get the nuts back on, and get the nut cap back. So we're actually done. Thank you so much to Callum. You can follow him on Callum_Z32. I think I got that right. On Instagram, he's actually got a mean Z32. You would have seen it in one of my episodes. But thank you so much to Callum for that, for all that help. And I think it's as easy as that. You take out the one bolt, flip it up, take out your pads, put the new pads in. On the other side, you're going to have a plug. That's your sensor. You would have seen that. And then flip it back down, put the nut back in, put some anti-seize grease if you have, and then pop the wheel back on. Then you're going to pump it a few times, make sure that brake gets nice and firm, and then ride off into the sunset. And that's easy as that. Guys, thank you so much for watching. My name is Javon Francis, and I will see you soon. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell icon rather, like, comment, drop your comments down below if you have any questions, and I'll be seeing you soon. I'm gonna leave the wheel off for now because I actually have another episode coming. So that is it from me. My name is Javon Francis, signing out.